welcome everybody. This is the first hand. Half of the hands were taken from Angel Blue's original squeeze set, and his bidding and my bidding, well, they seem to belong to different eras, really. I noticed one of the hands had a strong two-spade opener. I can't remember the last time I encountered that in real life. And the other four, well, okay, I invented the hands for the ones that I've added to his set, and I've no idea whether I did a good job or not. So let's ignore that. Here we have a normal 5-card opener, a normal 1-no trump in 2/1, a game try, and a game acceptance. So West is in 3 no trumps, and the lead is the Queen of Spades. Natural lead for the North hand. So let's concentrate on this from West point of view. As ever, count up your tricks, and there's 2 spades, 2 hearts, 1 club, and 3 diamonds. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 8 tricks. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Okay. So we need 1 more trick, and I think it's very clear with this lead that the only suit we're likely to develop is the heart suit. It's just possible the lead is from Queen Jack 10 all on its own, and there's a 4th spade coming our way, but it's against the odds when people choose it as the lead. Okay, so how do we develop the heart suit? Well, basically this is ace, king, and duck 1, because if they're 3-3, then we get the remaining 2 tricks in the suit. But we can do better than that. We're going to have to duck 1, and we don't have to do it at the finish. And we do own an honor in the West hand, the Jack of hearts. And we can put that to use by ducking our trick by leading towards the Jack. That gives us an additional chance that the Queen is in the South hand, and so when it is, I'll still lose a trick. If it's Queen to 3, they'll probably rise. If it's Queen to 4, they can wait and take their trick later. But if I play off ace king, then I'm only left with small cards. So very definitely, I want to put that Jack of spades to work. So does that mean I win with the ace of spades? Well, I think so. I certainly don't want to start using up other entries to cross to the east hand to lead towards the Jack. So the natural thing, I think, is to win straight away with the ace. The 9 suggesting indeed that the spades aren't breaking, and to lead towards the West hand. I have a habit of never using truthful cards when I'm declarer. If you are defending, of course, you lead the 3, your 4th highest, depending on the system. But for me, I would either lead the 7 or the 5. I certainly wouldn't lead my lowest to try and give clues to the opponents. Does West South rise? Well, I don't know. East bid hearts. It's possible that North has Doubleton king. That would be terrible to rise with the Queen and then see partner's king beaten later on. So personally, I would duck this. If declarer does have the ace of the king, I will take a trick later. And it looks like declarer does have it. As West continues to develop my favorite suit. Now, are they 3-3? No. Looks like South has the Queen of Hearts and has kept it. What shall I throw away? I can't imagine the clubs are much use. So probably I go and throw a club here. And, well, now North has to decide. Again, I wouldn't like to bear the king. I can see 4 diamonds in dummy. I'm not going to throw away a diamond and set up the 4th round of diamonds. So much as I hate it, I'm probably going to throw a spade away. Well, okay, they didn't break, but hey, I got an extra trick for a Jack of Hearts. I'm making the contract now because I've got 2 spades, 3 hearts already, 3 diamonds with the ace. So now I'm playing for over trick. So I'm going to lead another heart to set up a winner there. So again, I can't see that the clubs are going to be much use. I'm going to throw it away. And again, North is in a similar position. I don't know. Are these clubs going away? He might worry that you've got 3 spades and want to keep the spades. Maybe he'll go and play the 4 of clubs on the assumption that you're throwing clubs means that partner has a good club holding. And now it's interesting what you do here. What most people do with such a solid holding in the clubs is to go and lead one at this point. Almost certainly is what I would do if I hadn't seen the full hand. In fact, it's not obvious, but if you were to play the diamond, you would actually wreck communication between the east and the west hand. That's because North has very good diamonds with Jack 10-7, and so it doesn't cost a trick, and it does ruin entries for the later squeeze. But the natural thing to do, in my opinion, is to set about setting up winners in what looks like your suit. And now it comes down to, well, what are we going to do? We have at the moment King of Spades, 7 of Hearts, Ace of Clubs, and 3 more. We have 6 more tricks coming our way. And that means that if I win this trick, I'll have, is that right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'll have 7. If I win this trick, I will only have, 5 more winners. I'll win the Ace of Clubs. I'll have 3 diamonds, the 7 of Hearts, and the King of Spades. 5 more winners, but there will be 7 more tricks left to play. Now, that doesn't help me generate any further tricks. I'm thinking now, of course, of trying to manufacture an additional trick on a squeeze. I have the elements of a squeeze. I've certainly got, from the fact that South didn't continue them and that he dropped the 9 and that North thought he could throw a spade, I'm fairly sure that North is the only person looking after the spade suit. So both the 7 of spades and the 6 of spades, whichever one I want to choose, can be a threat card, a card that can only be beaten by North. Is there another threat card? Well, yes, the diamond suit. They're not going to break, so I have a natural trick because even if they're 4-3, somebody will be able to beat the 8 of diamonds. But nevertheless, there's a threat card there because only one of the players will be able to beat it. So therefore, I would like to set up a squeeze in the spades and the diamonds, but remember, squeezes need the count. You have to be in a position to take all the remaining tricks except one, and you can only do that by docking this card here, so that now when you cash your remaining 6 tricks, this is from a 7 card holding, and so we have all the tricks except one. Well, it happens to be North on lead. He'll probably go and play a spade to continue his suit, and I don't know, hardly matters what South does. Okay, time to start winning our tricks. So we take the king, and now we have to reach which hand? I want to go and play the squeeze card from the east hand, and my threat is going to be the 6 of spades. That will force North to keep hold of a spade, and my other threat will be the club suit. So I'm going to, if the spade hasn't become good, I'm going to cross over in the diamond suit and hopefully make loads of tricks there. So let's cross to my hand. I can cross in a diamond or with a club. I don't think it matters. So cross on over, play with the club. And now the magic moment, as ever, is when you cash your... Remember, the King of Diamonds is just an extension of the winners in the diamond suit. So the last winner is really the 7 of Hearts. That this is the point where if a squeeze is taking place, it should take place. Well, clubs are all gone. I'm keeping the length in this suit. And hopefully this is the magic moment when North has to keep a spade and can no longer keep the diamonds. Well, North has seen South show out. He knows he's got to keep the spade. I guess he throws a diamond and hopes for the best, but the best just doesn't come his way. He has indeed unguarded the diamonds without any choice to do otherwise. And so we make the last trick. So, of course, this only matters in match points, which this tournament is a match point tournament. If you've just made 4 hearts, well, then you didn't play the hearts very well. You didn't lead towards the jack of hearts, and that will give you a really poor score. If you led towards the jack of hearts but didn't do the squeeze, you'll probably be above average because you'll have 4 hearts at 1. But to make three no trumps at 1, but to make another overtrick via the squeeze will give you a really superb score, which will be up in the 90s or even 100%, depending what's happened elsewhere. So what did it require? Well, one of them was basic technique in leading towards the jack of hearts. Always try and utilize your honors by leading towards them. And then the next thing was, when you reach the end game, notice you have the elements of a squeeze, a threat card in the spades, a threat card in the diamonds, and then you have to use the knowledge you've accumulated over all these months. You need all the tricks except one, and you want to be in the hand with the isolated threat, the single threat, the 6 of spades. That's got no entry to it, and then be in a position to cross over to dummy and try your luck on the diamonds if the spade threat hasn't become a winner. Sometimes I went in with the queen of spades on trick 2. I suspect it won't cost very often. I say I personally would be worried. It's just possible that East has king to 6 hearts and didn't like to rebid them because with only the king as an honor, and then it would be terrible, Sanya, to rise with the queen and watch partner's ace of hearts fall on your queen. I would be more concerned about doubleton king, although I have to say I don't think it would matter too much because I have the 10 and the 8. So even if I did play the queen, leaving partner with the singleton king, and then the ace dropped that singleton king, I would still be well placed. So I think the answer is most of the time it won't cost. But if I'd have given you some weaker cards like the queen 7 6 4, now rising with the queen and having partners king of hearts drop would be a terrible thing to happen to you. How do you recognize which op to be squeezed? Well, here in this case, it had to be North. He led the queen of spades. South dropped the 9. South didn't continue with the spades. It surely is North who's looking after the spade suit. And if it's a simple squeeze, then the same person has to be guarding another suit as well, which has to be the diamond. That's the only place I have a threat. So I decide when it comes down to having, I didn't bother with squeezes at the start. I'm too busy setting up my heart suit. But when I reach the end game, I'm very definitely thinking it's got to be North, Makiko, because it's North with the spades. I just hope it's North with the diamonds as well. And if South had the diamonds, well, I don't think there's a squeeze on, really. I suppose it's just, could I set up a diamond club squeeze? I don't know. I saw the possibility of the spade diamond squeeze and I went for that one. When you planned it, I didn't plan the squeeze at the beginning at all. Really, when I start, I'm trying to make 3 no trumps. My 3 no trumps is from the heart suit coming in to give me extra tricks. It works beautifully. The jack of hearts turns out to be a trick. I've now got loads of tricks and I've still got the possibility of more, but no natural winners. So all I've got now are threats, the spade threat and the diamond threat. And because I've got threats and not potential winners, there's nothing to finesse anymore. That's when my thoughts start to, well, can I bring in a squeeze as a finishing thing? Lethal if queen. How do we, well, he's hopped up the queen. Well, again, I think you're in much the same position. Because he's played the queen, surely the heart suit is coming in. I've got to watch my entries, I think. But I'm going to cash that jack of hearts, cross back to hand, and I hope run ace king and another heart. So again, at that point I will be counting 4 heart tricks, 2 spades, ace of clubs, and 3 diamonds, and then I'd be saying, well, can I make yet one more? And again, at the point he pops up with the queen, then I'm thinking, okay, I've got 10 tricks already. And if I dock this club he switched to, I'll have corrected the count, and then maybe I'll be lucky, because you have to be lucky. Nothing says it North must have the diamonds as well as the spades. But I would be planning for it for the moment the Queen of Hearts comes up. I can then count 10 winners, and I'm no longer worried about the heart suit. I'm worried about how do I turn the rest of this hand into additional tricks. That okay? Maybe not. You're not saying it's okay, Ratner, but and I take it Q is a question, Chris? You're okay, right? Okay. You have a question, Chris, or perhaps Q stands for quiet. Yes, well, it's kind of. I think it's. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you can go down if you don't play towards the jack of heart. They will actually end with 2 and they will develop their clubs against you. You can go down in this hand. As for the squeeze, well, again, it's really just a matter of planning. The initial planning is really all about the heart suit, and then the moment you've got what looks like now 10 tricks because the hearts are coming in, I say it all depends what material you have. If you're sitting there with ace queen of clubs, well, you'd be thinking, I wonder if I can make an additional trick by finessing in the clubs. Is it risky? Can I throw somebody in so that they give me a trick from the ace queen of clubs? But I don't have the queen of clubs, so my thoughts don't go to finessing in there. My thoughts go to all I've got are threats. I have a spade threat. I have a diamond threat. Maybe I can generate a trick via a squeeze. Okay. And your thoughts should go there, because you should always be looking for as many tricks as you can at match points. So the moment you reach that point, sort of, say, it depends what you own. Ace, queen, or if you might have had ace, queen, 10 of diamonds opposite the king. You'd be thinking, should I play for the drop of the jack of diamonds, or should I finesse? That you have other options if you have different cards, and you have to go through what you think is the best chance to make an additional card. But you shouldn't just play the hand off, sort of, oh, what a relief, I've got 10 tricks, bash, 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 and throw the hand away. You should always be thinking in match points about, can you make one more? Because that one more converts a good score into a superb score. Just imagine if you could always get an additional 15% on every board you played. What would that do to your score? So take the opportunity always to see if you can get an additional trick. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, when you notice heartbreak badly, when you notice the heartbreak, the hearts which you develop, are you probably not. It's still at that point. I play the jack and I'm very pleased. I play the ace king of hearts. I'm disappointed they went 3-3, but really I think South would rise with the Queen if South did have three. I'm now thinking of, well, I must play a heart and set up my heart trick. And only after I played it, maybe I should have thought at that point, but I didn't, Bakiko. I played to the jack because it's the best play. I cashed the ace and the king. Bother, didn't actually. Okay, I must have, and only then did I think, okay, I've done the first part of the plan. Now I'm going to look for the second one. So once I'd set up my heart, that is when I did it. Possibly I should have looked a bit earlier, but there we go. But it's small to the jack is. I mean, that's nothing to do with squeezes. That is just the best way of playing the heart suit. You always lead towards honors to maximize your chance of something coming in. Okay, I'm going to move on, or be on board one forever. So let's go to board 2. Okay, so do I need the bidding? Yes, it looks like I do. So it's 1 spade, 2 hearts overcall, and it's 4 hearts. I have a splinter in that with a spade agreement, and then it's Blackwood, and on to eventually 6-note trump. So via Blackwood, we reach 6 spades. And there's the story. There's more bidding that was given to you to make it more rational, but I missed out the middle bit with Blackwood. Okay, so what's the opening lead? It is the King of Hearts. Okay. So first of all, then we've got to be south here. What was the instructions? All right, okay, you're giving instructions here because you are slightly on uncertainty about what to do. It doesn't look right to continue with the hearts at all. You can't force declare. There's so many spades over on the west hand that it can't really hurt declarer to have to use up one of those spades, and he'd only have to go and rough it if the partner had the Queen of Hearts, and there's no reason to suppose he's got the Queen of Hearts. So I would indeed switch to a club or a diamond, and I don't like the clubs. Clubs would be possibly running around to the king. Remember, when people bid game contracts or slam contracts, they have most of the high cards. So hoping that partner's got the king of clubs and you can set up a trick is very optimistic. Much more likely the queen will go to the king and your jack will be finesse because you can see the ace and 10 in the west hand. So I'm going to switch, and I've got a really solid diamond suit, so I switch to the Queen of Diamonds. Okay, so let's work out what to do as East now. So no longer worried about the defense, worried about how to make the contract. As ever, let's count up our tricks. So we have 6 spade tricks. West has a 6-card suit. We have no tricks in hearts. We have 2 tricks in clubs. That's 6, 7, 8, and 2 tricks in diamonds. That's 9, 10. Okay, so that's not ideal. How do I make additional tricks? Well, I can make one trick by reversing the dummy and roughing 2 hearts. Remember, it never pays you to rough in the long hand unless you can make that hand shorter than the other. So if you rough 1 heart, you haven't gained anything at all. You could just run off all your spades and throw that heart away. But if you rough 2 hearts, you would reduce West to a 4-card spade suit, and you still have 5 heart. You'd have 4 spades with West, 5 spades with East. That would gain a trick because now I'd be able to run off my 5-card spade suit and I'd have made 2 more tricks by ruffing hearts. But much more natural, rather than go to all this trouble of roughing hearts, is simply to go and rough one of my diamonds. Now, if I go and rough a diamond, I will reduce the number of spades in the east hand to 4, and now it doesn't pay to rough any hearts at all, because I've got 6 spades on the left, 4 spades on the right, and using up 2 of my spades in the 6-card suit to rough hearts is going to produce no tricks whatsoever. So I can make 1 additional trick, it seems, by roughing a diamond, and I'm fairly sure I will. It looked like a good thing to do. So is there any other way to bring in a trick? Well, you don't have any natural winners. You can't rough a heart and expect the ace king of hearts to drop. You've seen the king. Certainly South has got the ace as well, but he's not going to drop. He went and did 2 hearts. And if you go and take a finesse in the club suit, that should only work if somebody's got Queen Jack Doubleton and has to go and play it. You see that South has got them in the same hand. And if you try a finesse, he'll put the jack in to make sure you play the ace, and he'll be left with the queen and the 8 over your king. He will naturally come to a trick. So you're not very well placed at all for winning combinations. And as ever, when that happens, you look to say, so can I make an extra trick on a squeeze? Well, that's only if I've got 2 threats. Now, there can't be threats in diamonds. I'm planning to play ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, rough a diamond. So have I got a threat in the heart suit? Oh, absolutely. South has got the ace of hearts, so that queen will only be beatable by the person in the south hand. Do I have a threat in the clubs? Well, I might have it. I will always have a threat if South has 4 clubs, because then North will only have 2 clubs. And then however they're distributed, after I played off the ace and the king, the 10 and the 9, whichever I choose to be my threat, will only be beatable by the person who started with 4, which I hope is South. And the other way that South could be guarding the club suit is South has both the queen and the jack. In that case, South is guarding the clubs, and once again, my 10 and 9 are both threat cards against that particular person. Now, it's got to be South, because this is a simple squeeze I'm doing. I'm just concentrating on 2 suits alone. South has definitely got the heart suit. It's got to be South as well, who's got Queen Jack of clubs or any 4 clubs whatsoever. And if so, all I got to do is play off all my winners to execute a squeeze. Now we turn to general squeeze theory. How do I do general squeeze theory? Well, you end up with the isolated threat. That's the Queen of Hearts. And you leave yourself an entry across to the other threat. So that looks like the 10 of clubs is actually the threat I'm going to use. And my entry across is going to be a small card across to the ace of clubs. So I've got to end up in the east hand. So I'm going to have to do a lot of work. I've got to go and rough a diamond and then play off loads and loads of winners, ending up in the east hand. But I can do it. I can see how. I just need to cross back at the end with the king of clubs. So let's just show you. Let's follow this over here. I don't think there's any rush here. I'll draw some trumps to make sure no accidents occur. I think I can do that. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, now I need to cross over to dummy. Two ways of doing that. I could ruff a heart as long as I keep the queen. That's fine. Um, uh, I could use the king. I certainly can't use the ace of clubs. That's the entry card at the end that I need for my squeeze. I think what I'll do is I'll ruff a heart to get across. So play there. Okay. Okay, and all this is to cash the king of diamonds, and I throw away, well, not my threat card. Got to keep the queen of hearts so that I have a threat against South. So I'm going to throw a club, and now I'm going to generate an additional trick by roughing the diamond. That shortens East trumps and gains me an additional trick. Okay, so now I've got to play of all my winners ending in the East hand. So I've got to play this precisely too. 10 of spades to there. Now I've got to play. Remember, the winners include all these spade tricks. So that's useless, I suppose. So now I've got to overtake at this point to with the king. And now when I play off the six of spades, because the king of clubs is technically my entry card, but it also acts as an extension of that threat suit. So this will be the moment when the squeeze actually occurs, and you can see that South is indeed being squeezed at this particular moment. He'll definitely, well, will he definitely? No, I don't think so. He'll probably think Hartnum might have the queen of hearts. If I throw away a club, he's definitely going to bring in the club suit. I think he still actually throw away the ace of spades. So I'll cross over to reach the classic position. I'm cashing my winner at this point, but the squeeze has already happened because of the extension of winning cards in the club suit. And West South chose to not unguard the clubs, but to unguard the hearts. So I'm making my last trick now by cashing the heart. And of course, my last winner, is like that. So a fair amount of planning here. What are the basics about should I rough the clubs or should I rough the diamonds? And it's quite rare for reverse dummies. Normally when reverse dummies work, they work to excess, like you're able to massively rough a particular suit and shorten a long one down to being short. I didn't like doing that because it didn't seem to produce any more tricks than simply roughing a diamond. And more than that, I needed one more trick, which could only come from a squeeze. And the squeeze would involve the queen of hearts as a threat card. So roughing your queen of hearts is, well, self-immolation, really, a sort of innocent sort of suicide where you throw away useful cards and don't actually get anywhere. So we plan to rough the diamond, and then we have to do a squeeze, which requires a fair amount of luck. South doesn't have to have the queen and the jack of spades. South doesn't have to have any four clubs. Either of those of the squeeze works. And in real life, of course, it will sometimes work, but quite often fail when it turns out that North has jack to three clubs and South has queen to three clubs. So North is guarding clubs, South is guarding the hearts, and you just can't get anywhere to manufacture a squeeze. But here it does work. South had one of the two things you needed, the queen and the jack. So you had to be very careful to play off all your winners. Note how this spade suit is blocked. So you've got to be very careful about crossing over to cash your king of diamonds and rough it to gain a trick by roughing the shorthand. And then I had to cash all the spades, which meant overtaking at a critical point with the king so that I could then cash the very last spade in dummy. Then I was in a position to return to hand with the king of clubs, and I'm at the classical point now. I've got a winning queen of hearts. I'm able to cross back to the ace of clubs. Somebody, if they have the cards, is going to be squeezed. Are you all right on this one, Makiko? Because I know you tried to do it by roughing the diamonds and the hearts, and of course, um, mm, I I don't know. I really feel this is one where you need to have learned your squeeze technique. You should have basic technique. You should have the fact that roughing a diamond is good. Roughing a heart does you nothing extra whatsoever. But all the planning to do with the squeeze, I think that's quite hard. I've got to be with the Queen of Hearts, and I've got to have the ace. Not only that, it isn't even obvious that South is going to have the Queen and the Jack of. So I say I thought you should certainly be just roughing a diamond and not roughing hearts, but then seeing that South might just have the cards to get B squeezed, it's really quite a lot of planning involved. So loads of sympathy for messing it up. Okay, I'm moving on to board 3. Okay, so how did this one go? It went 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps, 4 clubs, which I think is well, course, I don't know how everybody else plays it, but I would certainly play that as a 6-card suit. Interested in playing in normally a slam, since it's a 6-card suit. 4 no trump says I don't have a fitting clubs. It's not a Blackwood. You're supposed to cube it if you like a partner suit, and then after that, well, then you can use Blackwood if you like. So 4 no trump says I don't have a clubs fit, and North fancies his suit so much, he bids no trump. So I'll do a couple of them. So it goes 2 clubs. That's wrong, isn't it? Is it south of it? Oh yeah, 2 clubs by. So, that's right. Yeah, pass. Right. So 2 diamonds. I don't have a lot. 2 no trumps. I have a good hand. And then 4 no trumps. I don't like your suit. And then on to 6 no trump at the end of the day. Okay. So the opponents don't bid, which is really what we need to know. And the lead is the Queen of Hearts. That looks safe. So let us turn to the analysis from the north-south point of view. South playing the contract. So we have 2 spades, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, and I can't believe that we don't have 6 clubs. We'll win the first 4 clubs, and I suppose it is just possible that they're 5-0. But I'm certainly not going to plan on that basis. Besides, if they are, I guess I'll find out pretty quickly. I don't know where I would go for another trick if I do discover they're badly breaking. What else could be? I could play ace, king of diamonds and hope to drop double to queen. I really am getting desperate, aren't I? No. I'm going to believe clubs are breaking. I have 6 tricks there, 2 tricks in all the other suits. I have 12 tricks. Well bid, partner. Okay, now, am I content? Of course not. Have you ever seen me content in a pairs contest? So, can I generate an additional trick? Well, I don't see anywhere I can go in the spade suit. Ace, king, and you can never do ace, king, and another. You've lost a trick. Okay, ace, king in the heart suit. The 9 of hearts is left. Ace, king in the diamond suit. Well, okay, queen of diamonds might drop. That might give me another trick. And it will also give me a threat card, because if the queen of diamonds doesn't drop, then only one person will be able to beat the Jack of Diamonds. Oh, threats. So threats mean squeezes. Do I have another threat card? Maybe. West has led the Queen of Hearts. So Queen Jack 10 is quite it's very risky against a slam leading the Queen and the Jack. You're quite likely to find the 10 in dummy, and this runs around to the ace, and then they finesse against your Jack, and you just let the contract in. So certainly against a slam, the Queen is highly indicative of a holding such as Queen Jack 10, and the 9 of hearts is therefore a likely threat. That's great. I've got 2 threats. What can I do with them? Well, I got some bad news. There's no, there are entry cards. There's the Ace King of Diamonds and the Ace King of Hearts, but both of the threats are in the same hand. The Jack of Diamonds and the 9 of Hearts, they're both in North, and the entry cards are all in the South hand, the opposite hand. Now, that's the one combination where simple squeezes do not work. Both threats in the same hand, entry card in the opposing hand, no positional squeeze, no automatic squeeze is possible at all. So there's no point looking for one. You've got to be a bit more advanced. And, well, the only sort of advantage we can do is a 3-suit squeeze. So do we have a 3rd suit where we can bring it in? And, oh, suddenly I spot the classic position. You need the top 2 winners, normally the ace and the king, in a 3rd suit with a 3rd card. And you need 2 threats in the same hand. And you need to be in a position to cash all your winners, ending with the 2 threats. The idea is that if one of the players is guarding the diamond threat, and if the other player is guarding the heart threat, nobody can look after the last suit. So if I play off all my winners, ending with the north hand, then and it's got to be east who's got the diamond. These double squeezes, you need the threat split one on one side. The idea is one of them guards that threat, one of them guards the other threat. Nobody looks after the innocent looking suit in the middle. So it's straightforward to actually execute it then. We have to cash all our winners, ending in the north hand with the 2 threats. So that involves cashing not the Ace King of Spades, they're our entry card to get back to the eventual, hopefully, set-up food. So certainly I'm going to cash the heart, because those are winners and are just blocking the application of the threat. Similarly, I'm going to cash the Ace of Diamonds and the King of Diamonds to unblock those as winners. Okay. Now, having got those winners out the way, I'm just going to run my club suit. So, Queen of Spades, clubs. Another club. You are breaking. Yes. King, and, well, what's he going to keep? He's certainly going to keep a diamond, but he doesn't need to keep another. It almost doesn't matter what I keep. I don't have the threat, so it's north of Jack of Diamonds and north of the 9 of Hearts. They're the threats. King of Clubs, right? Okay, keep going. Another club, so he can throw a heart. That's useless. And well, he can throw a heart at this point. He only needs to get 1 heart. And we keep on going. So now, well, I've got to keep that. So I better throw a spade. Throw that away. Well, I don't need the 9 of diamonds, so I can throw that. And finally, the coup de grace, the last winner. I should be down to my 2 threats and my entry card to reach the ace, king, and another spade. Well, I've got to keep the Queen of Diamonds, so I hope partner can look after the spades. I'm throwing the 5 away. I have no trouble. And well, says West, I have to look after the Jack of Hearts. I'm Hope partner's looking after the spacesuit. Well, nobody's looking after the spacesuit. So in comes the double squeeze. The spadesuit has become good because East and West have been forced to throw them away to keep the guards for the other threats, both of which were in dummy. Okay, and this is a squeeze I rather like because it's so easy to spot. Um, you, you see that you've got threats, but they're all in the same hand. And while that's terrible for um, or at the very least awkward for simple squeezes, it's quite useful for this type of double squeeze. And what's really nice about it is, of course, if one opponent has one of the threats, because they tend to have length in that suit, the other opponent tends to have length in the other one. The guards usually are split, one in one hand, one in the other. So if only you've got the third ingredient of ace, king, and another, it doesn't have to be. I mean, you might have played off the ace, and it could be king, queen, and another. But normally, in practice, it is the ace, literally the ace, king. And you've got it here. If you see that pattern, threat in one hand, card to lead across to ace, king, and another, you probably got a double squeeze, and they're above 50%. So they're really good squeezes to actually know. Two diamond shows not to. I don't know. It's very difficult giving advice on how to go, even how to bid strong hands. This is to uh, Andy from Canada. My system is certainly not this. My system is I give positives. I'm a follower of somebody called David Byrne, who believes that the strong hand needs to be told by the weak hand after a two club opener what sort of hand you have, because there's only a few points, and where they are is very crucial to what you can actually make. So I certainly play a descriptive thing where two diamonds is 4 to 7, two hearts is 0 to 3, two no trump is 8 plus, and suits are the thing. Other people on the other play coquish. Now, if you're playing coquish, you have to bid two diamonds, allowing partner to do the coquish sequence of two hearts, forcing two spades, then allowing two no trumps. How can you give advice when some people can be playing totally different systems? So really, if you actually take lessons to, sort of want to learn how to go and bid, you can only do it if you have a lesson with your regular partner, so that you get sort of you say, this is the system I want to play, and a true expert will know his way around all the systems and say, well, then this is how it works, and give you hands to go and practice them. But so here you just have to live with whatever comes out. The bidding anyway is what's important. They're all meant to just manufacture play hands which are a challenge for you. Moving on to hand number 4. Okay, so again, we need the bidding by the looks of it. West opens 2 spades, which is a rational. Nice to see it isn't forcing to game 2 spade bid, which I think it was in one of the sequences. Pass and 3 no trumps. Pass. Lovely. Okay, so East is on lead. Interesting question what to lead, really. The normal rules when partners bid a suit are the better the quality of the holding for partner, the more likely you are to go and lead it. Well, the Singleton 4 is terrible, of course, and so it's not high on the list. If you have a really attractive alternative lead, um, uh, you should go for that. Well, you do have a 5-card suit, but it's headed by the 9. You have a 4-card suit, Jack 10-9, but as computer studies have shown, the worst possible lead you can make against no trumps is a 4-card suit. And of course, you've got a 3-card diamond suit, which is bad, but there's no special. Given that partner's got 6 spades, there's hardly any point really to go and lead a diamond. So I think, in spite of it's only a singleton, I assume that's what's led. Let me just have a check. Yeah, the lead's that. So I say you shouldn't just lead it automatically. The worse you're holding, the more likely you are to, if you have a good suit, to try your good suit rather than flog a horse that's likely to be dead. Okay, so let's give up on. Oh no, we can. We're still in defense mode here, I think. Okay, so because at this point, as a declarer, you should be counting your tricks and planning what to do. But I can't do everybody all at once, so let's concentrate on defense. The 9 is going to come up. I'm sure you're going to win with the king. And this is the hidden hand here. So never tell truths when you are so at very least hide the 2 to make it look as though it's a queen to 3 holding and that partner declares led from 4-2 Doubleton. I find this a bit unclear what to switch to now. I'm switching through a hidden hand up to this one. Well, I can see that a club is safe, but I'm not sure it does much. I don't want to lead a heart at all up to the ace, king, jack. My partner may have the queen, might just be helping take finesses, and leading away from the jack of diamonds up to this is clearly optimistic. So should I switch to a club then? Well, then I'm maybe forced to win the ace of, and then I might have to lead away from, well, I don't know, maybe. Okay, I think in practice I would cash the ace and I'm guessing to throw a heart here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I can still switch to a club, but the 9 has gone. I would probably just, I don't really hope to get in. I might just get in with a jack of diamonds. Okay, maybe I should. Let me see my notes. What did it say? What did it say what to do? Right, no, okay. I don't think it matters what North does. Let's play, why not? Let's go and do this and give them partner problems. Well, no, that's useless. And well, these are all useful, I think. Yeah, okay, I'm going to throw a club. I've got the 8. Okay, at long last, I am in and I can now pretend I am declarer. So, how many tricks do I have? I've got 3 hearts, 3 clubs for 6, 3 diamonds for 9. That's right, isn't it? Yep, that's good. So I've got my contract for sure. I can't do 3. Oh, wait a bit. I've got the Queen of Spades. I've got 10 tricks. Oh, that's excellent. Okay. So 10 tricks so far. They've taken 2. So if I can make 1 more, that will be the maximum I can possibly achieve. So what do I need? Well, I've probably got a trick in the club suit. Clubs probably break 3-2. I can play off the ace and the king. And they will break, and then my 8 of clubs will be a trick for me. I can play off the ace, king, queen of diamonds. The jack might drop, and then I will get an extra trick out of the diamond suit. And if those fail, well, that must be because clubs aren't breaking and the diamond isn't dropping. So in that case, I would have threat cards. So let me think. If clubs aren't breaking, I'm fairly sure it would be East who has 4 clubs, because West turned up with 6 spades. He's not very likely to have clubs. So I imagine I'm going to play off the clubs and discover East has 4 clubs. So I've got a threat card against East. I would have, a threat card against West with the 2 of spades. And I seem to have a third suit. The ace of diamonds is opposite the top 2 cards, king, queen, and another diamond. So that means I would have a squeeze position of the automatic double squeeze type. I'd have threats of clubs and spades in the north hand, the same hand, and in the other hand, king, queen, small, well, ace opposite, king, queen, small, which would be the third suit that nobody can look after if I play off my winners. Well, I've got plenty of entries, so let's just check if I have to waste my time. Because probably the clubs are breaking. And no, they're not breaking. All right. In that case, it's definitely going to be a squeeze. I've got to end up in the north hand. Well, more than one way of doing that. So I think I will cash my hearts first. Okay, cash my winners there. There. There and there, okay. And now I'm ready to cash my queen, and then I'm left with two threats, 8 of clubs and 2 of spades, and I'm opposite. The ace just acts as the extension, which makes no difference to the play. Think of it as the 6 of spades opposite king, queen, 10. When I play off the queen, nobody should be able to keep length in diamonds because they're each looking after their own suit. And so it proves to be. The queen of clubs here, well, he's already or never had a diamond. I can't remember if I'd thrown one. Follow here. And poor West is, well, he better hang on to that 8 of spades or else I'll cash my spade threat. East has hung on to his club threat. Nobody can be looking after the diamond suit. So no thoughts now of taking the finesse. Nobody whatsoever can be guarding the diamonds. And so I manufacture, as ever, that additional trick that turns your 60% score into an 85% score and makes you win the tournament. All right, then. So there's various things that might have happened. West might have not continued immediately with the spades, but at the end of the day, you yourself are going to cash the queen of spades, test out the clubs, and then you need to know your theory for what's the pattern for the double squeeze. Well, it's 1 threat against West, it's 1 threat against East, and it's a central suit with 2 of the top honors that you can play across to bring that suit in.
Can I make a comment, Alan?
That's a familiar voice. I've heard it before somewhere. It's the ghost of Christmas squeezes. How are you? Yes, make a comment.
Okay, well, it seems to me that A, Declarer got it wrong at trick 1 and that B, West got it wrong at trick 1. Because I think West, if Declarer plays the 9, surely it must be right to put the 10 in, because if partner has got a doubleton, then it's the queen's going to go and the rest of the spade suit will be good.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that.
Whereas if Declarer plays the jack, now if West doesn't take it, then
now he has to take the king. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now I can. Oh, that was very careless of me. So concentrating on whether to take the first two spade tricks, I didn't even see it, Colin.
Yeah. Well.
I'm sure I should have done. Hmm.
Well, I mean, I saw it because I'm
Hmm.
sort of looking, but we're
Hmm.
saying, Caroline, is that well, you explain, Alan. You know what I'm saying.
Um. Yeah. Okay. I'll let me cancel what I'm just doing. Go back to board 4.
Caroline's asking us to repeat
Yeah,
this
I
one.
know. Export it to the table. Send it to. Uh, Upload to the table. There we go. Okay. The contract after a two spade opener was 3 no trumps. Right.
You
Oh,
bid four now, Alan, but it doesn't matter really.
does it not?
Well,
I
you'd
don't know.
hope it would make
It
sense
might
simple
make
then.
Caroline unhappy. Yes, let's go to 3 no trumps. I want Caroline to be happy. 3 no trumps. Pass. And the lead is the 4 of spades, right? Right. The point is, when the 9 is played, that could easily be a doubleton, and that's queen to 3. West should keep contact with the hand on the other side by putting the 10 in. Right. And that will force out my winner. Well, maybe. I suppose I could duck it, but even so, if I duck it, he'll take the ace and the king. I'll never make 3 no trump up 2 if I duck it. But if I win with the queen, I've ruined the counting for the thing. So, uh, so I did play the 9 because I wasn't thinking clearly. Now there is a case, although Colin says it is a much better play. I really should put the jack in here because now declarer cannot just put the 10 in. He can, however, still try his luck on the fact that partner may have 4-2 or 4-3 doubleton and keep communication with his partner by ducking. So even if you put the jack in, Colin, but this won't work now because I will be able to cross the dummy and lead towards the queen of spades.
Make
So
two spade tricks, yeah.
well, maybe then he can rise with the king, and I still only make one spade trick. I don't. It's certainly there are more options than I thought of at trick 1. I only thought of declare winning at trick 1 and then deciding whether to go and cash the ace of the king. I should have thought of certainly when I played the 9, I should have thought of putting in the 10. And now that Colin's got me on it, when the jack is played, is it right to duck at trick 1 as well? I
Good
don't want it.
question.
I want the ace king of spades played at trick 1. I want to discuss my squeeze. All right.
Don't want to ruin your squeeze. We'll assume the
Yes.
spades is played. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go on to board 5 and hope I haven't made as many unseen
Oh,
blunders.
you
Upload
have.
board 5 to the table. 1 no trump. I have a spade suit. I have a spade suit with you. Tell me about how many aces you own and 6 spades. Right. Okay. So it goes 1 no trump, pass. And after loads of chit chat, 6 spades. Okay, so 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so a rational auction, a strong no trump, and a giant suit with some outside values. So, okay, so the lead, um, next is the 6 of hearts. Okay. Um, uh, oh dear, really? What do I say about that? Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So I've rather contrived the lead. I must say, if somebody goes and bids a slam against you, leading away from an isolated honours is an excellent way to let that slam in. Because don't forget, when they bid a slam, they own most of the high cards. There is every chance that they have the ace and the queen, and you just allow them to win 2 tricks at trick 1. So, in my opinion, this is an absolutely dreadful lead, but presumably it was necessary to go and set up this squeeze possibility. Okay, so the jack is played, and then the ace there, and Does it say? There's no indication. Okay, so East returns. I imagine he goes and plays a heart back towards it. It's um, okay. Right, I'm no longer defense. I am now declarer. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 spades. Uh, Ace of clubs for 8. Ace, king of diamonds for 10. So this isn't looking very good at all. How do I command extra tricks? Well, I can make an extra trick by roughing a diamond. I can also make an extra trick by finessing a diamond, but that's risky. Whereas roughing a diamond is pretty near 100%. And so I'm definitely thinking, rather than finessing the jack of diamonds, just roughing with the short trumps, which will gain me in additional tricks. So I have 7 plus 1 in clubs plus 2 in diamonds plus a rough brings me to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tricks. I need one more. There are 12 tricks left to play. So can I get one from clubs? Well, there's no way of doing anything by force. You play the ace and hope the king drops. Well, good luck with that. You can you're going to rough this. Maybe somebody's got King Doubleton. I doubt it very much. Nobody leads small away from King Doubleton. So there's no way of doing this by force. So what I need is a way of doing it by threats, because I've got loads of threats. I've got the Queen of Hearts, which I presume West has the king. Either that or East is very brave to underlead his King of Hearts. And I've also got a threat. The Queen of Clubs is a threat against the King of Clubs. Only one person can beat it. If West has both of these, the King of Hearts, which I'm fairly sure he has, and if he's got a club as well, the King of Clubs as well, then this is a standard format for a positional squeeze. Now, I need the interest for this to work. I need to end up with ace in another club opposite my threat, Queen Doubleton, with the Queen of Hearts still left in dummy as a threat. So I've got to clearly rough this and follow with the 5. I think I should take my diamond, maybe take one spade, but I'm going to take my diamond off early so that I have a way of getting back to my hand without having to rough the Queen of Hearts, which is my threat card. So here we go. Well, I suppose take no chances, rough with the 8. What a silly idea. I could have just rough with the 3. Okay, I'll draw one round of trump. And king. Okay. Now I'm going to rough a diamond and then leave a spade to get back to my hand. So here we go. Rough a diamond. I just hope everybody follows. Ace. Okay, that's gone well. And doesn't matter what I rough with. They're both winners. I have ace queen 9. Okay, now I can cross back to my hand. And I'm in the right hand for the squeeze to take place. All the diamonds gone, right? Okay, so here we go. We run off all our winners, and the cards opposite are ace of the small card, opposite our Queen Doubleton, and the Queen of Hearts. We need West to have both of the kings. Here we go. So, well, throw that one away. You can throw another one away. Now we have to start throwing the clubs because we can't afford that. And, well, again, irrelevant, really. And now If the squeeze is on, which you know it is because you can see he's got the king, this should be the moment when West has to go and decide which of his guards he is keeping. I don't think he'll throw that one. I mean, he can see the ace of clubs is an entry and the queen of hearts will be a winner. So I'm guessing in practice he would throw the club,
Target
hoping
Michael
that his
King.
partner's got.
Yeah,
Hmm?
exactly.
Yeah, you agree. Good to have
I
you behind me, Colin. Okay. Okay, so now we don't need the Queen of Hearts anymore. It's done its job of forcing a club discard. It's the clubs now that we're coming in. And so we lead one. And if West did have all of the clubs, then his king should be dropping, or the king of clubs. And so I managed to make my last trick with the queen. So not hard to plan to rough the diamond, I think. But again, you need to know your squeeze technique. One of the standard squeezes is a threat in dummy, an entry opposite the other threat. So you've got Queen X as the threat in the south hand, and it's positional only, this squeeze. It wouldn't work if you were trying to squeeze East, because East would then play after you've thrown away the Queen of Hearts or you have thrown away the Ten of Clubs. It will only work on West. You know that West has got the King of Hearts. What you don't know for sure is whether he's got the King of Diamonds. But if he King of Clubs, but if he doesn't have it, you're just not making your contract. So you assume he does, and then you saw how I had to be careful. I couldn't just draw 2 rounds of trumps, because then after Ace King Ruffer trump, I've got no easy way back to my hand that doesn't wreck the squeeze possibilities. So I had to see this coming, know these sorts of positions, and then leave a trump to get back to hand. And then the fun part of squeezes, well, it's fun when they work, as a person on the left wriggles and squirms and eventually reluctantly places a card on the table. Uh, and then it either works or it doesn't, depending what West actually has. Moving on to board 6. Okay, so 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 heart, 2 7 spades. Right. So 1 heart, pass, 1 spade. Right, pass. Oh, no. What happened then? 1 spade. Okay. Pass. Okay, and then it goes 2 spades and then loads of adventures, followed by eventually getting to 7 spades. Well, they don't bid, so I'll just bid a final contract for 7 spades to save time. Lovely. And the lead is the natural one of the King of Clubs. I told you how leading from King Queen is slightly, or Queen Jack is risky against slams. Not so risky, of course, against Grand Slams, because if you discover that the Jack of Clubs is in dummy and declare a wins with the ace and plays towards the Jack of Clubs, hey, at least you set a 7-level contract because your queen beats the Jack. So, but be aware of, active leads against slams are they really should be safe active leads, not just I like leading away from kings, unless you've got a good reason to think that that's the right thing to do. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be declarer now. So I seem to have, well, I assume spades aren't 4-0. So I've got 6 spade tricks, 2 hearts for 8, a heart, a club for 9, and ace king of diamonds for 11. Okay, well, that's pretty terrible. So where do I get extra tricks from? Well, I know I can set up the heart suit. I can play ace king ruff a heart, They still won't be set up. I can go back and I can rough another heart. I won't have gained any tricks by doing that because I'll be roughing in the long hand, but I will have set up the last heart. So if I want to, I started with 11 tricks. That would make me 12. So that's not particularly good at all. I want 13 tricks. So I can set the hearts up, but I'm not sure it's going to do me much good. How about roughing the diamonds? Oh, now that looks a lot better. If I can do ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, rough a diamond, then I can cross back. I probably need a bit of luck now because when I lead the last diamond, um, I need to be able to over rough if north if south over roughs me. I've got a decision to make. If north follows, do I rough with the king or with the seven? Probably the king. And if north shows out of diamonds, do I rough? Well, if he roughs, I just over rough him. So it looks like ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, rough a diamond, cross back, lead my last diamond, and hopefully over rough north, and then I'm home. That gives me 2 extra tricks, and I like 2 extra tricks. So that is very definitely what I'm going to play for. Now that means I can't draw trumps first. I'm going to rough a diamond and then rough another diamond. The drawing trumps is counter-indicated. So let's start off on our plan. There we go. He wouldn't split because nobody's going to, in a grand slam, put the 8 of diamonds in here, or 9 of diamonds, right? Okay. And now... Oh, right, my plan seems to need revising. The idea was to rough with the 3 of spades, cross back to my hand, and then lead the last diamond to rough with the king or the 7. Now, I'm being forced to over rough with the king here, so I'm not dead yet, but I'm nowhere near as well off as I was because the plan to cross back and read the last diamond, there's excellent chances that north has either the jack of spades or the 10 of spades. He hasn't gained a trick when he rough with the 8, but he would certainly gain a trick if I lead the last diamond and he roughs with the 10 or the jack at that point. So I'm always flexible. Can I do anything else besides roughing my last diamond, the original plan? Well, maybe. There's no winners. There's no entries anymore to set up a heart trick. But I do have threats, don't I? I've got the 8 of diamonds as a threat against the south hand because I know that south's got all the diamonds, and north led the king of clubs. So that jack of clubs is a threat against north. Well, bad news as a rule to have 2 threats in the same hand, but maybe less so when I've got a 3rd suit, which is the format of ace, king, and another, because that's the layout for an automatic double squeeze. You've got 1 threat diamonds against the south hand, 1 threat clubs against the north hand, a 3rd suit that nobody can look after when I play off all my winners. So sudden change of plan, folks. Do I have to cash anything? I don't think so. I think I'm all ready to run the squeeze. So here we go. 7 to the 10 to the queen. That's good. They're breaking. Okay. And now, well, I just run all my spades. There's nothing to it. I'm watching out for the queen of clubs and the last diamond. So he's going to throw away a club. That's useless. Club's useless. Another one. There's another club. Me too. Oh, another one. I'm throwing clubs. And I can throw one of these hearts. And, well, I can throw a diamond. And this is the last free card. So this should be the squeeze card. Well, I suppose, I don't know. South threw clubs, didn't they? I think South would have thrown clubs if he wouldn't. He either made it clear he had the jack of clubs, or he would have thrown something different to tell me. So I think as North, and keeping the queen of clubs, I believe West has the jack of clubs. So I must throw the heart away and leave partner to cover the heart suit. Now I'm South, and well, I know West has got a diamond left. I saw all the diamonds except the 8 of diamonds, so I need to throw a heart and keep my queen of diamonds so that the 8 of diamonds doesn't take a trick. And as ever in these magic squeeze, I just love this squeeze. You know, you seem to start with what, ace, king, 5. It's hard to believe that the 5 can suddenly become a winner. And yet, when you have this layout of double threats, so that they each have to keep other suits, no matter how humble that last card is, it comes in as a winner at the end of the double squeeze. So again, it's a matter of knowing this layout. It's a very easy one to recognize. 2 threats in one hand, ace, king in another in a central suit, which play off all your winners in the hand with the 2 threats, and then just cross over and magically watch that last card become a winner.
For those that are not particularly squeeze au fait, if that's the right word, there was another possibility, Alan, at the point where North ruffed with the 8 of spades and you over ruffed with the king. It was possible that South has not only got lent in diamonds that we know about, but he might have had 2 spades left rather than 1. In which case, North, having ruffed 1, has only got 1 left, and we can draw that and then ruff the diamond. But the double squeeze is by far the superior play, no doubt about it. You've got the information. You know North has got the club. You know South has got the diamond. And if you recognise these double squeeze situations, it's an automatic play for you if you do.
Well, if I hadn't seen the double squeeze, I suppose I might be thinking of things like just the double squeeze at that point is 100%.
Exactly.
You know where both the threat, you know where the guards lie in opposite hands, and that's what's required for the double squeeze to work. You shouldn't see the jack of clubs as useless, Makiko. When the king is led, and you win it with the ace, and you own the jack, your jack is a threat, almost certainly against the person who led the king. So I'm a bit surprised you didn't recognize it. Remember, a threat is a card that can only be beaten by 1 player. Well, if the king and ace are gone, only 1 person will own the queen of clubs. So you definitely should be perceiving the jack as a threat card. Yeah. They say the only 1 per, and say almost certainly the person who led the king of clubs is the person with the queen. So you should not only know that it's a threat card, but it's a threat card against a particular person. Okay. Last of the boards, is that? Oh no, that's board 6. Gosh, it seems a long evening somehow. I suppose squeezes our jack of clubs. No. A threat card is a card that can only be beaten by 1 other player. It doesn't matter whether it's in front of it or behind it or on top of it. The jack of clubs can only be beaten by 1 other player. That makes it a threat card. Okay. What's this one? Pass, 2 clubs. No, oh, this is the one where no, it's another weak 2 spades. So that's odd. I thought there was one where they put in a strong spade bid somewhere. 2 spades, double pass. Right. Okay. So we need a bit of this. So it goes pass, 2 clubs, 2 spades. Sorry, and then it goes double. Right, and West shows you, and then you make and then it goes on to 4 hearts. So cutting this short a little bit. he starts with a double and then eventually gets raised to 4 hearts. Lovely. That's next. Right, South is on lead and leads the ace of spades, which I think is fairly natural. Sometimes it's on wide. A lot depends on your partner. If your partner's the sort to open 2 spades with 6 to the 10, aces are normally best used for beating kings and queens. But if your partner is showing a reasonably decent spade suit, then you have every expectation that the ace of spades and another spade is probably going to be the best defense. Okay, what have we got here? Well, well, let's just do the always at trick one. Declarer should be counting his tricks and working out a plan. But I don't want to zigzag between players. So as defender, I go here and probably plays the 8 or 9 even too, right? And I know this is going to be roughed. So do I wish to lead the jack of diamonds? Maybe pick up something? Or do I need to lead the jack of clubs? That might be clever to lead the jack of clubs. I might take out an entry, but I have a feeling, no, I've got no to. Anyway, I'm going to assume the continuation is another spade, and of course I'm going to rough it. Okay, so well, I'm in 4 hearts with a 5-card suit opposite 2. So okay, well, I've got a winner already. I've got 3 heart tricks, and I can play ace king of diamonds, ace king queen of diamonds, ace king queen of clubs. Even if the hearts are broken badly, they'll have to rough that. So unless the hearts are broken very badly, I can make my contract by drawing 3 rounds of trumps and then playing off my ace king queen of clubs, ace king queen of diamonds. They rough in and I score my 6 of hearts to make my contract. So that has to be best. If I start doing diamonds early or clubs early, who knows who's going to rough in? It can't be good. It must be right to take 3 rounds of hearts. It's not as though I want to use my hearts. Oh, do I want to use my hearts ace? I don't know. Well, it's obviously well, but ace king, I'd need another diamond. And if diamonds are 3-3, I can just pay off ace king queen of diamond. If diamonds are 4-2, I can play ace king queen and they will have a winning diamond. But equally, after ace king of diamonds, when I try and rough a diamond, they will be roughing diamonds as well. How big are my trumps? 7-3. I don't like it. It's a thought. Ace king of diamonds. Try and rough a diamond to improve my diamond suit, but I'm not sure how much it improves things because they're probably going to create a winner by roughing. And don't forget, I still haven't found out how the hearts are breaking. They might be roughing with a doubleton heart, and still somebody's looking after a 4-card heart suit. It must be right to draw 3 rounds of hearts. And if they're breaking badly, a club. Well, I might be able to do ace king rough a club. No, I can't. I can never do ace king rough a club. I can't cross back. So that must be used. Okay. Well, that went well. They were 3-3 all along. So, can I do anything else? Well, maybe. I'm trying to think it's possible that the diamonds or the clubs are breaking 3-3, and I've got additional tricks. At the moment, I've made 4. I'm looking at a heart for 5, 3 diamonds for 8, and 3 clubs for 11. I'd like to make 12 if I can, because that always improves things when you're doing match points. So at some point or other, I'm sure I'm going to play off Ace King Queen of diamonds and Ace King Queen of clubs. And will they break? Well, might do. North has promised 6 spades when he opened with his 2 spade bid, and North and South both turn up with 3 hearts. So North has 9 cards in the majors. He might have 3 diamonds and a singleton club, so the diamonds are breaking. He might have 3 clubs and a singleton diamond, so they're breaking. Or he might have neither of those, because if he has doubletons in the majors, then South will be looking after both the diamonds and the clubs, and will have a stop, a guard against my eventual winner. So can I do anything? Can I squeeze South? I don't know. I think I maybe could actually. Can I just yes, I know what I've done here. I think I've set up a simple squeeze as well as the squeeze I had planned. I know I'll do both of them. If the suit's breaking, I've got no problem. But if they're not breaking, it would be because South is looking after both the diamonds and the clubs. So I believe, well, let's have a check of the diamonds and just see if they are breaking. All right, now this one, no, they're not breaking. So South's got the Jack of Diamonds, and I'm thinking he's got the clubs as well. So how do I? That again?
North can't have regarding clubs because he's already played 11 cards that aren't clubs. Or we know
Sorry, I say North for South when I get tired, Colin. South, if the clubs aren't breaking, which I think they're not. North had Doubleton. I now know the whole of North End. He had 6 spades, 3 hearts, 2 diamonds, and therefore 2 clubs.
exactly.
So South has a guard, and I finished the simple squeeze by playing off my last winner while keeping my diamond threat, the 8 of diamonds, which is therefore going to force South to either immediately set up a winner for me, and that would be good from my point of view. I just cash the 8 and the 5 of diamonds. Of course, he won't do that. So undo there. But actually, I suppose he might do it, because he can surely see that if he throws the club as his alternative play, then I'm just going to play the clubs and make it. And so I made my contract via a simple squeeze on South. Okay. So I don't think this was here for that. So let me just do it again, if you're happy to bear with me on these. Upload it to the table. North opens 2 spades. And we reach 4 hearts. The lead is the ace of spades. I suggested another. We played off our trumps because it's very risky to try roughing anything before. then the queen, and club there. Right, okay. And what I had seen when I don't know whether I wrote this one or not, but certainly the other way of trying to play this is as a double squeeze. You have a threat against the if it, yeah, but this is silly, really. But there we go. Play the ace. The idea is to ruff a spade to make sure that there's a threat. And at this point, um, uh, you have a threat with the 8 of diamonds in this hand, and you have king, queen, small in this hand. So the idea I had was that if north is looking after this, if south is looking after the diamonds, neither player could actually be guarding the club suit. So I would need a different layout for this to be effective. The simple squeeze need to be much easier. I imagine he throws away a diamond, and the idea is that since north would have to guard the spade, south would have to guard the. Is this right? North is the wrong. I mean, that's right. For a that's right. It's the club that's the threat. So I cross over
Yeah.
here. Right, I'm now in the classic position of one of these uh, double squeezes. I've got a club threat against the south hand, as things have worked out. I've got a spade threat against the north hand, and so nobody possibly could have kept the diamonds during the play of these. So when I play the diamonds, because they're each guarding their own suits, nobody could be possibly looking after the diamonds, and I can play my diamonds off. I don't know why I thought that was the obvious thing to see. When I got to the point with you earlier, it seemed much more obvious that there was going to be a simple squeeze against the south hand, and so it proved to be. So I think, well, it was a squeeze. I hope everybody made it either by the simple squeeze or the double squeeze. Don't be aware of a 4-2. Well, say the point about taking 3 rounds of hearts, Makiko, is that even if they break 4-2, you make your contract by continuing to play ace, king, queen of diamonds, ace, king, queen of clubs. Now, they have a winning trump, but in order to stop you taking 10 tricks, they've got to use one of their trumps to ruff ace, king, queen of clubs or ace, king, queen of diamonds, and then you have a 10th trick because your losing heart has become a winning heart. So roughing the diamonds early is very risky because they can over rough or rough in front of you. Even with a doubleton, it's rough, whereas when you play off the ace, king, queen, they're pretty powerless when you start cashing your winners. So play it through afterwards, but I think you'll see that, imagine when you play it through afterwards that there is a 4-1 break, 4-2 break. Cash your ace, king, queen, and then see what happens when you play ace, king, queen of clubs. So, yes, you're happy with the 4-2 break. Yes, you set up a winner, but they have to use it to ruff one of your ace, king, queen of diamonds or ace, king, queen of clubs. And so when they use it, they set up an additional winner for you in the heart suit. They set up your losing heart to be a winning heart. I say play it through afterwards. You need to imagine in your mind that actually hearts are 4. So imagine somebody's got 4 hearts in the person too. Play it and imagine that you've set up a winning heart. Then see what happens as you play off ace, king, queen of diamonds. There's nothing they can do except use their winning heart to ruff it and give you your extra trick of the small heart. Okay. So this is one spade, two hearts, four spades. Okay, well, let's open four spades and get this over with. Oh, wait a bit. No, I don't think West should play four spades. I feel West would struggle in four spades.
What squeeze that would be.
And they didn't double? Did somebody? Okay. Right, King of Diamonds is the lead. Yes, a fairly natural try. They bid hearts and spades at the table. Okay, well, let's be defense for a while. I'm looking at the south hand. They seem to be okay there. I can't imagine. I got the Queen of Hearts. I can't imagine switching away from that. Possible I should play trumps at trick 2. Yes, I don't know. I suspect in real life, I would see that surely they're going to make tricks out of the. I don't think there's much of a. If there normally in these situations, the finesse is taken through West, if there is a finesse. So if I go and lead the 9 of spades, yes, I help them take a finesse, but probably a finesse they will be taking anyway if they're missing the king or something like that. So I don't think it costs. And with the Singleton Club, I will be seriously worried that the contract will be made by roughing a number of clubs. So certainly, I would be. Oh well, maybe. A moment ago, I was thinking of switching to stop the club roughs, but now my 9 of spades, sorry, 9 of diamonds, suggests I might actually have an even better line. Yep. So I'm going to play another diamond. And well, it can't cost. Okay, if I can't normally you signal high diamond, switch to a high level suit, 6 of diamonds, switch to a low level suit, but you can't really play the 10 here and set up the 8 of diamonds. That would be criminal. So you have to lead the 6 and hope partner's roughing it. And yep, partner's roughing it. Well done, partner. Okay. And West plays the I do remember that in the instructions. West plays the king of clubs at trick 4. Right, okay. Well, that was fun being defense, but really I want to be declarer. So that was a bit of a disappointment. I have 5 spade tricks, 2 heart tricks for 7, 1 club trick for 8. Okay. Can I make any more? Yes, I can rough a club. I'm roughing the shorthand. That will generate an additional trick for me. Anywhere else? Because a jack of clubs is a threat against West, of course. Only West can have the queen of clubs here, but I don't see any other. I've got threats with the 8 of diamonds as well, but I don't. But I've got a trick just by roughing the club. It must be right to rough the club and gain a trick. So 5 spades, 2 hearts, 8 seconds rough the club. I got 9 tricks. I need 1 more. Okay, well, I've got 2 possibilities. One of them is I'm going to cash the ace king of hearts and the queen is doubleton. Not very good, I'm afraid. But the other one is I've got a threat with the jack of hearts and I have a threat with the 8 of diamonds. So if East has the queen of hearts, I've got one of these positional squeezes where I play off my winners in the north hand. East has to keep the diamond and therefore he cannot look after the heart suit. So that's what I'm going to go for. That and the club rough, of course. So is that a Singleton club? It doesn't matter. I can't be bothered to think about it. No, of course it wasn't a singleton club, but I've solid spades over here, so it hasn't cost me anything. I had to play up. Well, the Ace King of Hearts are just extensions of the entry in the heart suit, so I don't have to cash those. The Eight of Diamonds is a threat. I have no other winners. It should just now be a matter of playing off my winners in the spade suit to execute the squeeze. So here we go. So they start to throw things away. Well, clubs seem to be useless. Oh, wait a bit. Let's follow here. Next one. Clubs seem to be useless. So throw that away. And well, clubs are useless. Throw it away. 10. Clubs are useless. And throw one of the hearts away. I needed one of the hearts, but not the other one. And again, that's useless. Okay, now the seven of spades. Now this should be the squeeze card. I've got an extended threat in the heart suit, ace king small. So that's like just having king and a threat card, king six. Or your jack, the real threat card, and the eight of diamonds is the other threat card. So hopefully this is when the squeeze takes place. And for it to work, it's got to be East, who's holding on to the diamond guard and the heart guard. And it is. You can see it in front of you here. So, well, that's the last card he's going to throw because it's going to be transparently obvious to keep the last diamond. So it's definitely going to throw away a heart. And from North's point of view, the eight of diamonds has done its job. We don't need it anymore. We just hope that it was East with the Queen of Hearts. So we play off the king, we play off the ace, and if the squeeze worked, which it did do, suddenly my Jack of Hearts is becoming a winner on the last round. And so another positional squeeze has...
Can you see the question from Jeff, Alan?
Oh, if West wishes to the 10 of Hearts instead of the king of clubs. Let me put the squeeze. Oh, do I put it? What did it was?
Yeah, I think he's right. I think it does break up the squeeze. It go 10 jack.
No, it does break up the squeeze. Why do you think it breaks up the squeeze?
Well, no, no, no,
This isn't a
not
double
if
squeeze where you need ace
North
king.
doesn't put the jack on. No, it doesn't. No,
Oh, I see. He gives North a chance to go wrong and put
yes, he
the.
could put the jack on, and then West could guard the suit. But if he doesn't put the jack on, then you haven't lost anything. You can play the squeeze those jackets.
That's very odd, actually. I got a commentary here. I remember thinking about this, and I remember thinking to myself that if I had Queen 10 of Hearts, I would never lead a heart up to the Ace King, and that when the 10 is led, therefore North shouldn't play the Jack because it should be obvious that they're there. But it's like I forgot all about it because there's nothing in my notes. But no, Joe, the extension of the entries, Ace King of Hearts, wasn't necessary for the squeeze. Obviously, you can throw your squeeze card away and cover the 10 with the Jack, but I think it's reckless because really, are people really going to, with a singleton club in dummy, and they're going to lead away from Queen 10 of Hearts? I think you can read it. Now, if you'd like to bear with me a little further, I have a taster for the following week. If you're happy with that, of course you can always leave. I can't stop you leaving. You can just leave when you want to. So here's a little thing about what's going to happen in the next set of squeezes when it comes your way. Let me, for once, not show you the full hand, but limit you to just having a look at. I think Declarer is the south hand here. So board 9 is it? Oh dear, what a silly fault. Who wrote this software? Okay, export it to the table. Lovely. And yes, and the binning is relevant here. So south opens with one heart.
So excuse me, Alan, but because you're sharing the screen, we can still see all four screens, all four hands. Just to,
Okay, well, nothing. I can't avoid that. Okay,
there
yeah,
you
I thought
go.
it'd be more illustrative to do it without sharing, but you're quite right, Colin. Uh, okay, where was I? One heart, two no trumps. At least you can, as I remember. You got double, which says I can double one of the opponent's minors. Three diamonds, that's my choice. Can't be very happy when he made it. And I can't double diamonds, so I've got to do something, and I bid three hearts, and we eventually reach an adventurous four hearts. Okay, right, and I say perhaps I should talk about the okay the theme next to it. What I've been doing is taking four of the Angel Blue hands and adding four of my own. And I thought, well, one of the types of squeezes I haven't done with you is show up squeezes. And show up squeezes aren't much different to the simple squeezes that you've already worked through lots of them, because I tend to do four simple squeezes, and then Angel Blue only seemed to do simple squeezes. So four of the simple squeezes and four of the other types. So what's a show up squeeze? A show up squeeze is a simple squeeze, an absolute normal squeeze, except that one of the threats could also be a finesse position. So if the squeeze is going to work, then you might just as well take the finesse and save yourself a lot of time in doing the squeeze. Nevertheless, doing the squeeze is occasionally the better thing to do. And this hand illustrates how it might come about. So we're in four hearts here. Pass, pass, pass. Right, leaves the king of diamonds. And natural thing is to overtake it and play a diamond back, illustrating that it is just a and then the queen of diamonds. So well, you have to rough it, or they'll play another diamond, even though you're fairly sure that you're going to be over rough. You might not be. It's possible West has the 9, 8, 7 of hearts. It's worth trying the 6, but of course it is not to be. So East is in. Well, he's not going to lead a heart. He's the sorry, a club, giving away the Thington King. So likely he's going to switch to a spade. And here we are in the position that I wanted to go and reach. I'm about to go and draw trumps, and then I'm going to play the king and the queen of spades, and I can use the spade to, say, throw away my losing diamond, and then I'm going to make the contract by taking the club finesse. Well, let's follow that through a little bit. I'll play there, and then another one. Throwing the clubs, I suppose. Really bad break at 5. Okay. Away and keep that. That's another. Now there's one more trump. Now let's just get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Now let's go and throw away my my loser. Now here's the interesting thing. When I cash the queen, I can indeed throw away my losing diamond and rely on the club finesse, but I don't have to. I can actually instead throw away the club, because if the club finesse is working, then I can take the club finesse and throw away the diamond later on. And if I do it that way around, it's also a squeeze, because follows here. When the spade is played and I get back to hand, this is the magic moment where the squeeze takes place. I've got an entry card across to the ace queen, and a threat, the six of diamonds, which is forcing West to keep a diamond. So at this point, I bring West down to a singleton king of clubs. I'm fairly sure West has got the king of clubs because he went and showed a two-no trump bid showing both the minors. So now I complete my, and it's a show-up squeeze. West is going to show up with the king of clubs as part of it because that's the last card that he owns. And I could have just taken the finesse, except you see, the finesse is going to fail. Well, point about the show-up squeeze isn't that it is good for you when the finesse was working. What it does is tell you the finesse is not working, because if it was working, that wouldn't be the jack of clubs you'd be looking at. It would be the king of clubs, and you will be able to beat it with the ace and so on. So if the finesse is losing, then you just say, well, okay, it's losing, and you have the chance of dropping an offside honor. Now, I have to tell you, it's very rare it's an offside king. Much more common is that you have the finesse position of ace, king, jack. And what the squeeze shows up is that West does not have the queen, because when you follow through on the normal squeeze procedure and you lead your club, oh dear, it's not the queen of clubs which is showing. It's a small club. It must be the other hand that has the queen. And so you rise with your ace of king, whichever it is, and if you're lucky, the person on the right started with doubleton queen, and so the doubleton drops. So show-up squeezes are wonderful when they work, because without the squeeze, you just take the finesse and have an unlucky one down. But because you have this option of playing it as a squeeze, when you play it, the card shows up about whether the finesse is working or not. And so when you find it isn't working, now, well, just don't take it. Rise with the top card in dummy, and every now and again, there's a, it's not that uncommon to have somebody have a doubleton queen. You make the contract by dropping the honor offside. So the technique is exactly the same as all other positional and automatic squeezes. The difference is you could do it by a finesse if only the finesse is working. You will discover that the finesse is not working, but you're going to be able to make the contract then by dropping the honor on the other side. And I'm sorry, I should, of course, at some point shown you that was the idea, to get you to that point and then say, well, you were about to, because if you went looking at all four hands, it really does look as though West, with his two-no trump bid, really should have the king of clubs. Well, he should. He's got 6 clubs and none of them happens to be the king. So I say, you could have taken the finesse, and most of the time it's going to work, but why not play it by the show-up squeeze, and you actually learn whether the finesse is going to work or not. So easy to do. Just play them exactly the same as you play other squeezes. Just be aware that when the right card doesn't show up, then see if you can drop the honor on the other side of the table. Okay, well, that's a taster for next time, which will be in the usual 3 weeks. We'll have ordinary safety plays and brilliant plays and all the other plays that Colin specializes in there. Why save, Malcolm? What am I? Okay, well, right, okay. Save it to history.
Well, you've saved it by, yeah.
Didn't I claim at some point? I went through. It should be saved in the. Yeah, all is claimed, right? Okay. Okay, well, that's it, folks. Your 8 hands plus a bonus one. I do give value for money, don't I?